Let's imagine you're an ambitious teenager who's fresh out of high school. Your goal is to have a successful career. What's the best way to maximize your chance of achieving this goal? The correct answer is to go to university. Now, I know this path sounds outdated, especially when universities are so expensive and when you have all these other learning resources online for free. But in reality, this path has never been more fitting. Because right now, people who have a bachelor's degree earn 60% more than high school finishers. That's an extra $700,000 over the course of a lifetime, and this gap is only set to get larger. They're also 3 times less likely to be unemployed, and they tend to be more satisfied with their jobs too. Why then are so many people complaining about degrees being useless? Why are they thought to only teach book smarts and neglect real-life skills? These aren't baseless accusations either. One meta-analysis of around 300 studies found there was only a low correlation between a person's education level and how well they performed on their jobs. So, is university worth it or not? To figure this out, we firstly have to understand the real reason why university graduates are doing so much better in life. The universities would like you to think it's because students are taught skills which are valuable in the job market, but both anecdotally and empirically, this just isn't happening. For example, consider a degree in IT. One survey of around 40,000 programmers asked, "Where did you learn your skills?" And by far, the most common response was, "I learnt it myself," with 69% of people claiming to be either partly or fully self-taught. The next most common answer was on-the-job training, and only after did people acknowledge their bachelor in computer science. In fact, around 3/5 of programmers didn't even have an IT degree. Clearly, universities aren't that essential to the process of learning. Also, take a look at a degree in education. It's surprising that out of 170 studies, only 9% found that teachers with higher university education were better at teaching. The majority of them found no effect, and some of them even found a slightly negative effect. This means that both bachelor's and master's degree don't do much to improve the quality of teachers. Sure, there are exceptions. For example, teachers who've had more maths-related coursework are better at teaching maths. You can see this because their students score higher in math tests. But the same paper that said that found no such evidence for English, history, or science. So, while this degree might teach some skills, by and large, it's quite useless. Now, I'm not going to go on and say that a medical degree is also completely useless, but unfortunately, with the way that the course is set up, a large portion of it is. Specifically, that undergraduate degree you must complete before you enter medical school. This degree can be in any field you want, but to make the most of it, most students study biomedicine, so they have some sort of foundational knowledge. Some students, though, will get a degree in something completely unrelated, like film studies or political science. But in the end, whether you choose biomedicine or film study, it makes no difference. As research shows, both groups of students will score equally on their clinical exams by 3rd year. Both groups will also be scored equally by their supervisors during internship. In fact, getting a high GPA in undergraduate years is barely predictive of a student's later clinical skills in hospital. And yet, medical schools won't let you in unless you have one. So, once again, if these degrees aren't teaching you anything, what gives degree holders their huge advantage? The answer lies in signaling theory, a theory which won the 2001 Nobel Prize for Economics. It states that while a degree itself isn't worth a lot, what it signals to others is. See, a good recruiter knows that degrees are hollow and don't really prepare graduates for the job. But with potentially hundreds of applicants, they need a quick way to separate a good employee from a bad one. They can't use IQ unless they want to get sued. So they use the next best thing, a degree. Because even if they're useless, people who choose to attend university tend to be smarter in the first place. They're also probably more motivated for their career, more accustomed to deadlines, less likely to do drugs, harder working, and so on. And while this filter works, it creates a deeply flawed system. For the employers, one day an outstanding candidate is going to apply for the job and is going to get rejected simply because he didn't fulfill this superficial criteria. As for the employees, well, they're now forced to get a degree to stay competitive, regardless of whether it's useful or not. And this is no easy sacrifice either. For some, it costs their whole life saving, and for all, it wastes our most youthful years. So, what can we do about it? Well, some have said we should ban employers from asking about university credentials, just like how we banned them from asking about religion or politics. Perhaps then, people will stop mindlessly substituting a degree for the actual learning of skills. But as this won't happen anytime soon, let me suggest some personal advice. Don't listen to anyone who says that it's important to study hard and get good grades in university. It's a waste if all that's really important is the signal. Instead, aim for the bare minimum and, more importantly, use the spare time to focus on the other opportunities that universities offer. For example, if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, that's fine. But use this time then to experiment with different courses and figure out which fields genuinely interest you. Or perhaps you want to improve your social skills. If that's the case, universities are one of the best opportunities you'll have for socializing, with multiple clubs and societies and a diverse range of people to interact with. Alternatively, you could apply for an internship to get some job experience. You may even start your own project, like a YouTube channel or a startup company. All these aspects of university aren't really emphasized to us, and yet all of them would be a better investment of your time. Because ultimately, what you do when you're not studying is what you learn the most from. So, make sure to get the most out of your time at university. Hey guys, if you want more psychology videos to check out, head over to Psych to go and see what they've got. I've hoped you've enjoyed this video. Till next time, take care.